1 Peter 1:17 out of the New American Standard. And if you address as Father the one who impartially judges according to each man's work, conduct yourselves in fear during the time of your stay here upon earth. Welcome, I'm Brother Donnie Proctor, pastor of Emmanuel Baptist Church in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and this is Wednesday, the second day of December, and we will be looking today at 1 Peter, the first chapter, verse 17. Previously read it, but let me read it again. Since you call on the Father, who judges each man's work impartially, live your lives as strangers here in reverent fear. Sometimes people tell us that we shouldn't be afraid of God. That seems to be a common theology among certain denominations and certain peoples. However, the Bible doesn't really say that. As I just read, that we should live our lives as strangers here in reverent fear. We aren't to cower in fear. We can trust God's love. But if we choose to live contrary to God's way, then we can't expect him to just ignore it, since he's just and holy, and that he judges each man's work impartially. That is, without reference to rank or status. We all stand level at the cross for salvation. We all stand level at the cross for God's judgment also. Judgments are different for those who are lost and those who are saved. Those who are lost will be judged eternally. Those who are saved will be judged through the blood of Christ, and we will be found righteous. But still, that does not mean that we will not go through a judgment. Throughout the Bible, those who are believers are identified as those who fear God. That is, they believe in God's judgment and respect him as the rule maker. Jesus told his disciples, do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. He wasn't talking about fearing Satan here. He was talking about fearing the Almighty God. One of the important themes that goes throughout the gospel is that someday God will bring judgment and justice. When Paul explained the gospel to Felix, he spoke about righteousness, self-control, and the judgment to come. This will take place on the day when God will judge men's secrets through Jesus Christ, as my gospel declares, Romans 2:16. In Athens, Paul announced, as he set a day when he will judge the world with justice by the man he has appointed, he has given proof of this to all men by raising him from the dead. Again, God will judge the world. Judging is also the theme, if you look it up, in 1 Peter 2:12. First Peter 2:23. First Peter 4:5-6, and verse 17. Notice how Peter characterizes Christians as resident aliens, as we saw in chapter 1, verse 1. Here, strangers, the NIV, sojourning, the KJV, King James Version, or exiles in the New Revised Standard Version, or as I read this morning in the New American Standard, you stay. All of this translates from the Greek noun parakoia, which actually translates the state of being in a strange locality without citizenship, or sojourn, or stay. The related verb means literally to dwell beside, that is, that we live next to the house of those who are citizens. Never forget that your citizenship, if you are a Christian, if you are adopted by God, your citizenship is in heaven, Philippians 3:20. And it is to heaven's standards that you will be held accountable, not to those of this world. So we are to be fearful of God, not cowering before God, but respectful of His laws and His wishes and His demands for us, because we live in His world, not the world that we dwell in. We will be judged by those standards, not the standards of the world. I'm going to put a couple of questions down for you to think about, and if you will, and if you can respond to those below. I know many of you watch this on TV and you're not able to, or you watch it in some other means and you're not able to respond. But if you are able to respond, then I would appreciate and enjoy reading your responses. Tomorrow we will talk about the second Sunday of Advent and the message that will be that will be coming up on Sunday. I do want to say again, as always, that your generosity has just proven to be overabundant. And as we are kind of scaled back this year with our Christmas gifts, you have still gone far above and beyond. Remember, those gifts need to be in by December the 13th so that we can get everything together and have them ready for pickup. The Missions and Outreach program, sending Bibles to our family military members, has been a tremendous thing. And the ABW, American Baptist Women, with their Advent calendar, which we will have available for everyone this Sunday for you to have. So until tomorrow, be blessed.